So, what do you do when an affair produces a child? Ugh, this is such a challenging situation. And I would tell you that I think this is about as hard as it gets in terms of mental and emotional challenges. And yet we know that occasionally, and not that rarely, affairs do produce children outside of wedlock. So I guess what I would tell you to focus on and where to start is think about things from the child's perspective. So the child did not ask for this. The child did not ask to be in the middle of these complicated relationships. The child did nothing wrong. They are an innocent victim, and they still deserve to be shown compassion and love and kindness. So we have to be very careful to not take out our adult pain and our very hurt feelings on this kid. Now, that said, you are going to have a lot of complicated feelings come up as you navigate this situation. So the first thing to kind of focus on, I think, is focus on restoring your relationship, right? Focus on making that connection better, making that relationship feel safe and sound. And once you feel good enough, then start to figure out what boundaries you guys can have with the other woman and the child that seem reasonable. So you may feel like you want nothing to do with this other woman. That's fine. That is your right. But I would still want the parent of this child, which let's assume that that would be your husband, to have something to do with this child and to care for this child. And unfortunately, then your husband will need to do the work of, helping you cope with that, because that's going to be very hurtful for you. And he's the one who will need to keep kind of firm boundaries with this other woman and try to still have a healthy-ish relationship and supportive relationship with this child in a way that minimizes pain to you and your family. So there's a ton to talk about. And I would say if you're in this situation, just start walking down the path and seeing what you can do. You might choose to not stay in this relationship because it's too painful. And if you have kids together and your husband has fathered a child with another person, that's an incredibly painful situation. There's so much to talk about, but really try to keep your mind on the fact that this other child is innocent, what's in the best interest of this kid, and how can you guys cope with that and minimize pain to yourselves. So I hope that helps you, and good luck. This is a really tough situation.